The Canadian Tulip Festival is proud to present Dutch folktales. Today's story is The Princess and the Soldier. Once upon a time, in a country called the Netherlands, there lived a beautiful queen of the Dutch people. Her name was Wilhelmina. Queen Wilhelmina had a baby girl named Princess Juliana. Princess Juliana grew up and married a prince named Bernard. They had two baby princesses of their own, Beatrix and Irene. One day, a terrible war came to the Netherlands. Fearing for their safety, Queen Wilhelmina sent her daughter and her grandchildren to a country far across the Atlantic Ocean called Canada. There, they lived happily in the capital city of Ottawa, where the Prime Minister and his Parliament were located. A few years after arriving in Canada, Princess Juliana and Prince Bernard found out they were going to have another baby. And in January of 1943, a beautiful baby princess was born. Her name was Marguerite. The Canadian Prime Minister made sure that the hospital room where the new princess was born was declared Dutch for the day, so that Marguerite could be born in her home country. Canadians, who are always kind and thoughtful, celebrated the event by ringing bells and flying the Dutch flag over the Parliament buildings. Well, this was quite an honor because it had never, ever happened before. Now, around the same time that little Princess Marguerite was born, there was a boy living not far from her in a city known as Oshawa. His name was Don White. He was only 18 years old when he bravely volunteered to fight for freedom in a great war across the ocean. After a long, difficult struggle, Don ended up being one of the Canadian soldiers that helped to free the people of the Netherlands. 2 years later, Don returned home to his family in Canada, and Princess Marguerite returned to her home and family in the Netherlands. Queen Wilhelmina rejoiced to see her daughter and her 3 granddaughters back home safe and sound where they belonged. Princess Juliana never forgot the kindness of the Canadians or the part they played in liberating her people and making the Netherlands safe again. So, 75 years ago, Princess Juliana gave the people of Canada 100,000 tulip bulbs as a way of saying thank you. She also promised a gift of 20,000 tulips every year for as long as she lived, but her gift lived on even after she passed away. 75 years later, her daughter, Princess Marguerite, heard the story of Mr. Don White, the very brave soldier who had fought to free her country. So, she invited him to come to the Netherlands to receive a very special gift of tulips. And so, the princess, who was born in Canada, and the soldier, who fought so bravely in the Netherlands, met for the very first time. And on that day, Princess Marguerite repeated her mother's gift of 100,000 tulip bulbs to all Canadians. To this day, those tulips of thanks from the Netherlands are growing in Canada. They return each and every spring to remind us of a very important friendship between two nations. And that's why we have a Canadian Tulip Festival.